Thank you, Linda. No sound. I've been talking for almost 5 minutes. Let's start this over. What's up, y'all? This is Jules Jessie with Clapback Culture. Happy New Year. I didn't realize my mic wasn't turned on. Glad to have you guys say that in the comments. Thank you again, Linda. Listen, 2024 is here. And with its quirks, obviously, still with a little bit of technical difficulties, but we're going to go ahead and let that chill. I was just talking, even though you guys couldn't hear me, about some New Year's resolutions. So for me, this year, my focus is going to be on financial literacy. I really want to focus on just having more financial discipline. I want to make sure that I'm putting, some money into that savings account, tucking some things away for a rainy day, for emergencies. My family is growing. My lifestyle is changing. And, the older I get, the more I want to have in that reserve bucket because things tend to happen. So that's my number one goal this year is just to get financially sound. What are your goals this year, you guys? I want to know in the comments. Pull up in the comments, let me know. How are you feeling about this year? What is 2024 bringing you, and what are those resolutions? Or if you don't have resolutions, tell me why you don't have no resolutions. I know a lot of people feel like, new year, new rules, but some people also feel like, listen, I don't need a new year to kind of start over. So for me, I always love to take a fresh approach. And this is my kind of a moment to reset the time where I like to reset the season. So that's it for me. But I want to know from you guys in the comment section, what are you guys giving this year? Linda, tap in. Let us know what you guys are giving this year because I want to know. So as we move forward with that, we're going to have Rado joining the show shortly and we're going to get this show started. But I do want to share a few topics with you. So let's talk about this first. The Harvard University president, Claudine Gay, resigned this week following mounting allegations of plagiarism. But the tea behind this story is that even though she resigned due to allegations of plagiarism, which she stands 10 toes down and says, she didn't plagiarize her work. She does have like 4 different like scholarly articles that she's going back to add like quotations to and kind of fix some of those things in. But really, this came after that congressional hearing in December where Harvard president Gay and MIT president and the president of Penn, all women, by the way, all of these Ivy League presidents had a congressional hearing about their anti-Semitism policies and whether or not calling for the genocide of Jews was against their policies. Was it considered hate speech and things of those nature? There was a lot of backlash, you guys. There was a lot of conversation around that and calls for the 3 presidents of those universities to resign. Well, MIT, as well as Harvard, where Claudine Gay is the president of, their corporation stood by them and said, no, we're not going to force them out. We still support their policies because the sentiments in that congressional hearing were focused on the school's policies and freedom of speech and whether or not conduct was matched to the speech. And so there was a lot of negative feedback surrounding that congressional hearing, but the calls for plagiarism kind of came after that. And so I think this was just par for the course. I think, trolls were finding a way to just add more fuel to that fire. And so the first Black president who took the seat of Harvard University back in July of 23 has resigned here now just about 6 months later. And so the university is saying, unfortunately, she's going to step aside because, it's one of those things that they want to focus on the academic excellence of the school. She's basically fighting for her life and saying, listen, I'm going to take a step aside, but please know that I'm not stepping aside because these allegations are true. So I don't know, you guys, tap into the comments. I want to know what you think. It is an unfortunate situation, but again, this type hate speech, anti-Semitism, these are kind of themes that we're seeing continuing in conversation and leadership, really having to take a side and not kind of finding a middle ground. And so it is unfortunate to see this history maker having to leave that, that her academic post. She is going to still be a professor at Harvard. However, she just will not be the president to kind of avoid that kind of controversy. So again, let me know in the comments what you think about that. For me, I think she probably did the best thing for her career and stepping aside to allow the university to not allow her opinions and or past be the focus. So then there's that. Moving right along, there's some other things going on. There's some allegations, you guys. I don't know if you heard about this, but there's some allegations that are being had about Bishop T.D. Jakes. He's being named as a frequent participant in P. Diddy's sex parties. T.D. Jakes' camp says that the claims are absolutely false, that none of the things are true, but this is a little bit messy. So if you remember, Sean P. Diddy Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka Love, all the things that we know, following his settlement with his former girlfriend Cassie Ventura, there allegedly is court documents and emails and text messages that have not yet surfaced into the media, but there are these alleged documents, as well as a burner phone, pictures, etc., a number of items to include top influential, powerful men in the industry participating in these alleged orgy parties. Among those names has been Bishop T.D. Jakes, where he is being accused of having sexual intercourse with other men. Allegedly, there are statements of male escorts saying that he did in fact participate in sexual acts with them. And there allegedly is some, some allegations of sexual misconduct in terms of him grooming former male members of his church, the Potter's House. Again, these are allegations, and I personally have not seen any court documents in this case. And for me, I'm going to stand on the court documents. And so until I see proof that these that there are pictures or videos or something that is leaked, TD Jakes is innocent until proven guilty. And the thing is, he's not really guilty of anything unlawful, right? And so the reason he's trending is just the fact that he's a influential Christian pastor and he's allegedly having sex with men. And so the idea of him cheating on his wife or being not so forthcoming about his sexual orientation is really the only thing that the internet is going wild about. Of course, some names like Bishop Long have come back up and just kind of saying like, this is one of those kind of scandals. And of course, this is salacious material, right? TD Jakes had a sermon on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, one of the two. And he said, guess what? I'm not here to address this. But even if I did address this, or even if these things were true, that this is something that I would just have to repent for and I would be forgiven of my sins and I could move on. And so I think personally, if I were his PR team, I would just continue to tell him not to address this whatsoever, not to add fuel to the fire, let his representation and his PR team kind of have these conversations about it. But that's pretty much it. I personally just would not continue to speak on that. But listen, let's take a quick break. And when we come back, you guys, I want to bring Rodney into the show. And listen, we're going to dive deeper into some of these topics, you guys. Like, listen, got a lot of stuff going for you. So let's take a break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. You're watching Clapback Culture.
Hello, it's Marcus Trufant here, and for the month of October, Burger Master and the Trufant Family Foundation are coming together. The Trufant Jalapeno Burger is great. It's going down, and a portion of each burger sold is going right back to the community. Go Hawks! Let's make it happen.
She can't be real.
You looking to make some money tonight?
Daughter, come help me with dinner.
Yes, Mommy.
So I told her. Hey, hey.
You are not the first or the only. There is a lineage you're inheriting. We are the blessed ones. The blessing.
Let's
Right.
Oh my God, it smells so good.
I'm ready because you know I made it.
Auntie, you made the greens.
Any longer on me?
No. Here we are. Welcome.
Big Tobacco thinks they know everything. They think they know you, your community, the places you go, the way that you spend your time. They think they got you all figured out, down to a formula, a calculation based off of numbers of what they think they know. Show them they're wrong. Learn more at theythinktheyknowyou.org.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Clapback Culture. Without further ado, let me go ahead and bring in Rado, Big Rado.
What's up, y'all?
What it do? What it do? Happy
What
New
it do?
Listen, glad to have you, brother. Glad to have you on the show. Sorry about that.
Good to you.
Man, listen, I told the people that we had a bit of an announcement. We're here celebrating the new year, and I didn't want to share the news until you got here. But listen, y'all, before we share that news,
What's the news?
let me talk to our audience. Share the stream, you guys. Let everybody know that you are watching Clapback Culture.
Clapback Culture.
Listen, we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. We talked about TD Jakes, in the scandal and the trending issues there. And we talked a little bit about New Year's resolutions. Before we hop into that, Rado, do you have some New Year's resolutions? Like, what's your plan for 2024? It's given, for me, more financial discipline. What's it giving for you?
Yeah. So financial discipline for sure. So for me, for the new year, man, financial discipline, paying off some of these credit cards, just getting, just becoming financially free. A lot more discipline. Obviously, I want to, get back in the gym, lose some weight. And just continue to just be humble, and the work that I do, staying alive is a real thing. Washington D.C. unfortunately has been one of the most dangerous cities to live in, especially if you stand in like Ward 8. And it's sad to say, but your goal is just to not be shot, assaulted, and just stay alive for the most part. So I'm just bringing positive vibes. I always try to bring positive vibes, and I'm continuing that for the new year.
Okay, I like that. Positive vibes for the new year. Another thing that you and I jointly are bringing into the new year is that we're having another baby, you guys.
Really? Congratulations.
Congratulations to you, sir. If you guys didn't know already, We did share the good news on social media. Our son, Cairo, he turned 1 year old, and at his birthday party, we went ahead and did a little announcement. And so a part of his birthday party, we gave him a really cute gift that said it's a big brother. And so he's promoted to big brother because he has a little sister on the way. And so if you've ever been invited to any of our events, you know that oftentimes there is an element of surprise. It's one of those things where it's like, we like to make it special. I don't know if I was hiding my pregnancy very well from anybody, but listen, I am over 20 weeks. I'm 21 weeks this week, which makes 5 months and a little bit of change.
So congratulations. What are you having?
You're not even listening. You must not be listening to the show.
No, I mean, you said that you're having a child, and I want to know, what are you having? Congratulations.
We already mentioned that it was a girl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is a mess. This is a mess. So how do you feel? You already have a daughter. But now you're having another daughter. So how does, what's it giving for you? This is baby number 4 for you.
I'm excited. I would like a football team. I'm going for 12. So I mean, 4 is just not enough. I feel as though men, we are put in this earth to be conquerors, right? So it's like, if we needed to, we can impregnate a whole room of 15 people, but a woman has to wait 9 months. So I'm looking to put like 6 more babies in you, and I'm just hoping that works out well.
A top 6. Okay. I don't know. You can't even, that's not even 6 more.
6 more.
Okay.
45.
Oh my gosh. I think you guys want to put
a comment. She's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. Not a football team. I think the women are sharing my sentiments that listen, let's just get through this one. So we're excited, you guys, nonetheless. We are having a little girl. Another blessing is on the way. Thank you again for all of your congratulations and well wishes. I would have loved to share this on Facebook, you guys, but my Facebook was hacked. So you only probably saw the video.
You didn't put the link on
here? The link to the video?
No, you didn't. We don't have a clip of the video.
I did not pull the video, but I can show it before we roll out today. I
think the audience would like to see the whole gender reveal, the whole, I think it's going to be dope.
We'll share it. Well, let's go ahead and get into our show a little bit, you guys, because there's a lot of stuff I do want to talk about. Speaking of the new year, listen, there's some controversy coming out of an Atlanta church. You may not have heard about this, Rado, but I thought this was super... I don't know. I was on the fence, honey, because I just don't.
I can't wait to tune into it. I can't wait to tune into it. Give me the tea.
Listen, so there's a church in Atlanta that pulled in the new year by walking it out and swag surfing in the congregation. Let's take a look.
You gotta walk it out.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I don't know why it's playing like that. I don't want it to play like that. Hang on.
The period where the victim.
Okay, here we go. You
gotta walk it out. That's how we going out of here tonight. Look at your neighbor and say, walk it out. They trying to act like they don't know what you're referring to. Look at them and tell them, walk it out.
Hey, now walk it out. 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 DJ Southside walk it out. We inside walk it out. Northside walk it out. Here we go. Now walk it out. 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 Now Westside walk it out. Southside walk it out. Eastside.
I love Atlanta. Atlanta be I love Atlanta.
How do you
Atlanta,
feel about this? Like it, so the controversy is that this is secular music being played in church. I'm on Hypnotic Exotic
yeah.
in church. I mean, is this they claim 150 people were saved that night.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
don't know. What's even you? It's
So you're right. So to be sanctified, you want to be able to represent God in the holiest of ways. So I do get that. But sometimes in this world that we're living in, the most Satanist world that we're living in, I just feel like to just have people congregated and just be happy is just a win. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say it, but it just looked like a group of black people doing what black people do, turning up. Unfortunately, I wish they could have did it too. Silver and gold, I'd rather have, you know.
I agree that there are so many I don't I here's why I'm torn by this.
Sophia says shake your booty for Jesus. If they would have got the twerking in there, oh my goodness. Black people can't stop but shake that tail feather when some music come on, whether they conservative or not.
Let us know in the comments what you guys think about this. Me personally, as a Christian, I go to church to purify my spirit more than anything. And I think that while this is fun and we can acknowledge that there are obviously we love swag surfing, obviously we want to walk it out, and there are different things that I know sometimes my pastor will bring in to kind of like bring home the message and bring home the word. But I think this crosses a boundary that I personally don't want to teeter on, right? Like I want it to be pure. And I don't know. I mean, I understand why people really supported this, but I also understand why people are in opposition. Coming into the new year, I think, we should not change the church to fit the people, but we should really enforce people to kind of change and to conform back to God and God's purpose and God's way and God's will. And so that's just me. Again, I get it. I feel like this was, people had a good time. I think it was in good jest. I think it was in good spirit. But for me, just not my cup of tea. But again, no tea, no shade to anybody else who, felt like this was a good way. And 150 souls were allegedly saved. So if this is a way to bring people to Jesus, we talk about, God being able to work amongst, the most forgotten people, right?
Absolutely.
The prostitutes and, the criminals and things of that nature. So, maybe this is just one of those things. I don't know. What do you think?
So I kind of agree with you, right? I think the biggest thing that you said that I can agree with is that if we continue to change the church for the people, then eventually we won't have a church left. You have to allow people at some point to confide to the church, or at all times, right? Because the church is the church. So I think that kind of hit home when you said that. But we're living in and that pastor looked turned up. Okay. It was like everything about that pastor looked turned. It just looked like he had a past. And it looked like he's still living in the past, I don't know, but I just don't think youth and pastoring goes hand in hand. And I hate to say it, but I do think that you need some some wisdom, some age on you to be a pastor, because I feel like it's a lot of things that we do in our youth that we got to get out of our system. And he was just so in tune with the music. He was like, what Walk It Out is. And
listen, there's so many environments where we do get to enjoy that moment where it's not homecoming. You know what I'm saying? And I think there's just a better, and sometimes when you're in a position of leadership, especially when you're representing the church, you're representing God. And so I don't know if that was the best.
Father, in the name of Jesus, we forgive us, and we ask you forgive us in the name of Jesus.
Amen. Amen.
Man.
Let the church say amen.
Let the church say amen.
So a viral video is going around, you guys, with with a guy who attacked
Hit the link, y'all.
a judge, you guys. There's a judge out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and it was during a sentencing hearing where she is getting ready to sentence this guy. He was asking for probation, and he got pissed when she said, "Nah, I'm gonna give you a taste of your own medicine." Let's take a look at what happened.
A taste of something else because I just can't with that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court.
Listen, this is a wild.
Look, that was crazy. So I kept, so everybody I showing clips about him jumping I call it a pulpit, right? But into the judge's pit to attack her. But I didn't see at the end that he was actually throwing punches like that. Oh my God.
Listen, so I'm glad you noticed that because I feel like the comment section failed to see that on social media. I don't know, and Safia, you might be able to tell me exactly who that is, but the guy in the suit who's sitting next to the judge, let's just say he's the court clerk, he's getting a bonus. Okay, everyone's focused on the fact that this guy is flying over, but I'm like, look at the judge's colleague stepping in like, you're not finna put your hands on my judge, and he's teeing off. He's teeing off. Safia is asking, where's the bailiff? The bailiff comes through later on in the clip with a cloth over his eyes.
The people nervous. There was a few guys that heroically tried to help that judge, but you have to understand, it's a lot of people in the courtroom at that time. It's not just 2 or 3 people. So we're everybody to kind of help out in this situation. Now, to everyone's defense, what happened was that she denied his probation under like just premature terms. And I feel, so this is the thing about a judge. A judge a lot of the times have free will to do a lot of things. And the problem with judging anyone is that we have this thing called a human bias, right? That we all have, no matter how we want to, shape it or say it.
Right.
Her bias at some point was kind of extreme. And the problem is that there's a normalcy to judges being extreme in their bias and doing what they want to do. Should he have jumped in that pulpit and hit her? No.
Well, he's also being sentenced for a felony battery case, which also kind of speaks volumes to the fact that he's already a violent person and has a violent past.
Yes and no. I can go with that because he's been charged, but most of the time, a lot of charges are isolated. It's not like you do have people that, commit some of the same crimes, especially when it's drug related. But sometimes, battery is just battery. So if you get into a fight, it's battery. If you get into an argument with your wife, it's battery. It's a lot of things that's battery. But in this case, I will have to agree with you and say that this is probably a violent person.
This is definitely a violent person.
First of all, who's even doing that in a fight when it's not a judge? To really be that enraged to hop over a 10-foot podium into that. I mean, did you see how perfect
he hopped over the judge's bench, grabbed her hair, and just teed off on her. The defendant in this case, you guys, is Deborah DeLone Redden. And he was jailed on a $54,000 bail and refused to return to court on Thursday on new charges. So a judge rescheduled his next appearance for January the 9th. So this is him, he refused to come back to court after this attack. Redden, who's 30, faces 13 counts, including extortion and coercion with force, 7 of the new counts are battery on a protected person, referring to the judge and the officers who came to her aid. Redden had to be wrestled off the judge by several court and jail officers and courtroom staff members. That's the guy who I was talking about.
I am scared to death. I don't even want to know what his charges are. Like, his new charges is going to be so crazy. He might as well have just killed her. And I don't mean that like that. And please take that back, because this is something, obviously, we're on the internet. I don't mean he should have killed her. What I'm saying is that, or what I should have said.
What you're saying is he is going to get sentenced as if he did kill her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you did, that was a misspeak.
He'll be starting at 40 years.
Right. So what you're saying is you might as well like have committed the serious version of the crime.
You should have just took your.
You should have went all out if you were gonna do it. Like, don't play. Yeah.
It's like you punch a citizen in the face and you get a few months in jail. You punch an elected official in the face, like a judge.
This is a protected person.
Yeah, this is the highest land of the law.
What an idiot.
To talk about setting an example. Oh my goodness.
So he described himself to the judge as a person who never stopped trying to do the right thing, no matter how hard it is. He said that he's not a rebellious person, but if it's appropriate for you, then you have to do what you have to do. This is what he said to her, saying, that if he had to be sent to prison. So,
he's gone, Lucy. He is gone.
I'm trying to see what his original charge was. I believe it was battery.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
He could have been a pastor from the last clip. It doesn't matter. He could have fought in Vietnam. He could have been.
This is like the word.
The insurrection of the insurrection of January 6th. He could have saved 10 people. He could have had the Purple Heart. It doesn't matter what he did. Whatever he did good in his life prior to that second,
it doesn't matter.
It's over. So I hope he lived every bit of life he could have lived, because now it is over now.
Yeah, and honestly, listen, I understand emotions are high in a courtroom.
Ooh, child.
But wow, he's got hops too, because he was like a
basketball player. Yeah. Just athletic black man.
Speaking of courtrooms, you guys, I don't know if you remember, but 12 years ago, we were following the Casey Anthony case. And this is the woman who allegedly, well, not allegedly, she went to trial over killing her daughter, or we don't know what happened to little Kaylee Anthony, but Casey Anthony, her mother, she was the one who came up with all of these like crazy stories about the nanny having taken her daughter. She made allegations that her dad had killed her daughter, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a number of things. She was found not guilty.
Really?
Yeah, you remember that. She was found not guilty on all of this after it was listen, I'll show you this to remind you.
What was that white woman that used to do, like, she used to come out anytime a child was missing?
Nancy Grace.
Nancy Grace. So
thank you, Nancy Grace, for your leadership.
You couldn't do anything without Nancy Grace. So I'm thinking that this was back in those times, right?
100%. Okay.
So Nancy Grace probably covered the whole thing.
Of course.
Okay.
So here's a clip to remind you who she is, a little bit of history about the case. But I bring it up to say that tonight they're on live, or not here on Lifetime, but they're on Lifetime. They're doing a show where they're polygraphing or lie detector testing her parents. Take a look. It's a lot of tea.
It was a case that riveted the nation. Casey Anthony being acquitted of killing her 2-year-old daughter, Kaylee. During the trial, Casey pointed the blame at her father. Now, more than a decade later, he's taking a lie detector test, leading to a very tense TV moment.
Casey Anthony's father is in the hot seat. George Anthony squirms as he struggles to answer questions about the 2008 disappearance of his granddaughter, Kaylee.
Did you knowingly conceal Kaylee's whereabouts?
On the A&E special, Casey Anthony's Parents, the Lie Detector Test, Casey's mother, Cindy, watches the examination from another room.
As you sit here right now, did you conceal her whereabouts?
Did I conceal her whereabouts? I did not know where she was at.
Okay, so why are you struggling with that?
The test was administered by retired FBI Special Agent George Olivo, an expert polygraph examiner. We spoke with him today. He says people shouldn't misinterpret George Anthony's hemming and hawing.
I think some people like to overthink things a bit, and they get in their own way sometimes.
We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty.
Casey Anthony was acquitted of her daughter's murder 12 years ago. The trial riveted the nation. She was dubbed the most hated mom in America. Now 37, Casey has tried to put her life back together. She had a short-lived photography business and now works as a legal assistant. But she's remained estranged from her parents. In 2022, Casey dropped a bombshell, accusing her dad of staging Kaylee's drowning.
I can see him standing there with her in his arms and hand her to me and telling me that it's my fault.
She also made this explosive claim.
When I was 8 years old, my father started to come into my room at night, and I can't tell Mommy, she'll get mad at me. That's what I was told. Protecting the family at all costs, that was the only goal.
Did you ever have sexual contact with Casey?
I think everybody has an opinion about this case, and those opinions may or may not change after this.
George Anthony has previously denied sexually abusing his daughter or having anything to do with his granddaughter's death. The special Casey Anthony's Parents, the Lie Detector Test, premieres January 4th on A&E and Lifetime.
All right.
This is clown stuff.
I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna give you a solo so you can tap in on this. Tell us what you really.
So let me take it here. So first of all, right now she's coming out with all these different allegations. This is white privilege at its finest. So if you guys have some popcorn and tea, go ahead and take a sip. Take a couple of bites of popcorn. Get you some crunch mustard mix in it with this. So this is what upsets me, right? First of all, why are we sitting here playing with this? Okay. First of all, how was she acquitted? So I was just speaking with Lucy prior to this about the whole Nancy Gray. I remember this girl. She had the biggest case. She's actually what made Nancy Grace. This case was everywhere, on every news station, everywhere. So now we go ahead and you go ahead and release her, and now she blames everything on her dad. Why didn't she blame her dad in the beginning? Why didn't she blame her dad in the end? Why is she speaking on this if she has been released from prison, first of all, right? So let's just say her dad did do this, right? What is the world doing trying to monetize off this thing and have a special that supposedly came out today? Like, what are we talking about? What does the lie detector test say? Did he do it or didn't he?
No, he did. But so there are clips of Casey Anthony's father and mother both taking the lie detector test.
What are the results? That's what I'm saying.
They're not going to show us the results because they want us to watch the show.
That's what I'm saying. They're monetizing this BS. So now
okay.
The results are coming out today. So now we want the world to come on out and hear the results. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, I think, what you're saying is, why are we even giving this more life when we know that Casey Anthony is the actual liar? And if any of this were true, why wouldn't she have accused her father during the trial? In fact, remind me, you guys, if she did, I think the defense attorneys did try to shed some light on the fact that her dad may have committed these crimes during that actual trial. So correct me if I'm wrong and jog my memory, you guys. But listen, somebody like me who's super interested in these kind of criminal cases, I can't wait to watch this.
And then the father was raping her too?
Oh, that's BS. Like, listen, this is so sensationalized, and Casey Anthony is not to be trusted. Like, she has lied over and over.
Yeah, she was lying. Man, she was lying since lying was lying to begin this thing.
Yeah, she created lying. But I do appreciate. She didn't do any time. She was acquitted.
Oh, she never went to jail?
Babe, you don't remember this case? She was
I
found
remember
not
this case. I
guilty.
thought she was in jail and just came home just now.
Absolutely not. She was found not guilty. You don't remember the world going crazy over that?
I bet you she had another kid since then.
Well, I doubt it. Which is why she allegedly killed her daughter in the first place, because she didn't want any kids.
Wow.
Who's having a kid with Casey Anthony?
I imagine what her abortion count is.
Oh my God.
Green pill, red pill.
Sometimes you just take it to the next level.
Yeah, Neo.
I want to bring it back to this special really quick. You guys tap into the comments and let us know, are you going to watch this special? So it's called Casey Anthony's Parents, the Lie Detector Test. The couple sits down in their living room after they each took a series of polygraph tests, to dispute their daughter's claims against them. So they are vehemently denying the allegations that their daughter Casey set out. And, and they're talking about the case. They're talking about where they're at in life right now. This is not the first time that the mom and dad have gone on record about anything, but this is the first time we've seen this polygraph test. I'm so interested. I cannot wait to watch this. I think Safia's saying, hell no, she's not watching this. Listen, girl, I'll watch it for you and I'll come back and bring the tea. I'm watching this. This is good. Like, this brings me back to my childhood. I can't wait to text Sheena, my homegirl Sheena, because I know Sheena's going to be doing this. And to your point, this is what brought me to Nancy Grace, except there also was the John Benet Ramsey case where, she had a lot of highlight there too. So I'm going to be watching this, you guys. I don't know about y'all, but, I'm happy to see that the parents are still speaking out in terms of Kaylee, supporting Kaylee, and trying to get her justice, and they're not backing their daughter on this. So there's that.
Yeah. So she's been totally cut off.
Uh-huh.
So now she's going for blood. Dad, you won't give me no money. You was touching me. Dad.
The body in the blood?
The body in the blood.
There was a clip that came out around the press for The Color Purple from Taraji P. Henson. I love Taraji. And she talks about being an underpaid actress in Hollywood, and she talks about the gatekeepers. There also was this huge blow-up interview with Cat Williams on Shannon Sharpe, and he speaks on it. I want to play for you guys Taraji's clip. And I also want to play with you a small piece of what Cat Williams said, because as much as we're sensationalizing Cat Williams' interview with Shannon Sharpe and some of the kind of more salacious things that he said, I agree with Cat on what he says in terms of the bigger picture with Taraji. So I want to have a conversation with you guys about Black women in Hollywood, and really some of our Black executive producers in Hollywood, and whether or not there is fair treatment right there. So let's see what Taraji said. And she is talking, ironically, to Gayle King, the bestie of Oprah Winfrey, the executive producer of Color Purple. Let's take a look.
And I heard on the street, Taraji, you had the audacity to say you're thinking about stopping acting. We said, stop talking. Are you thinking about it?
I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost. I'm tired of hearing my sisters say the same thing over and over. You get tired. I hear people go, you work a lot. Well, have to. The math ain't mathing. And when you start working a lot, you have a team. Big bills come with what we do. We don't do this alone. The fact that we're up, there's a whole entire team behind us. They have to get paid. So when you hear someone saying, oh, such and such made $10 million, no, that's not that didn't make it to their account. Know that off the top, Uncle Sam is getting 50%.
That's right.
Okay? So do the math. Now we have 5 million. Your team is getting 30% or whatever your team is off of what you grossed.
Sometimes
Not
more.
after what Uncle Sam took. Now do the math. So I'm
tired.
I'm only human, and it seems every time I do something and I break another glass ceiling, when it's time to renegotiate, I'm at the bottom again, like I never did what I just did, and I'm just tired. I'm tired. I'm tired.
I get that. I get that.
Okay, so that's what Taraji said, and obviously the clip goes much longer, but there was also a conversation. Shannon Sharp on the podcast Club Shay Shay. I don't know if you guys got a chance, but Cat Williams sat down with Shannon Sharp for a 2-hour and 46-minute interview.
That was crazy, right? Like they went in.
And a part of the conversation, I mean, they just had a full dialogue on everything. And I really think that while a lot of people are criticizing Cat Williams for some of the things that he says or how he says it, like Cat Williams is somebody who has been in Hollywood for decades. So he's been around just as long as Taraji. He's definitely one of the most influential comedians that of our time, one of the best to ever do it. And he's also an actor. And so he says this, and then I want to bring it back to you, Rodney, and bring it to our audience to have a bigger discussion. Let's take a look at what Cat Williams said.
The period where the victims get to say, they've been hurting me for a long time. And I just ain't said nothing because I was trying to be strong and I didn't want to shame anybody. When our people call out for help, we got to understand. You know what I mean? Like we put too much pressure on Tyler Perry. You know what I mean? He ain't put nobody on. The people that been in his productions, they not famous. All of them can walk through the mall without security. Be what you gonna be, but put your people on. If you a gay person and you in there, put some other gay people on. Put somebody on. Or don't be wondering why people keep saying gatekeepers. Because clearly, y'all are keeping these gates.
So Taraji clearly was taking a shot at Oprah. And in other interviews, what she was saying is like a lot of times these Black productions will, or the Tyler Perrys of the world or the Oprah Winfreys of the world, you know, they have money for white actors, but when it comes to doing this Black cinematography, they don't got the money to pay them. And Taraji saying like, I've met that threshold 1,000 times over. Like, why? Where's my raise?
Yeah.
When am I going to get paid my worth?
Yeah. It's hurtful to watch. So there was many people that commented on it, and I'm gonna actually take a liking and I'm gonna actually slightly side with Monique. So Monique had a powerful interview regarding this, or a powerful comment, and she sided with Taraji, and her sentiments or her dissatisfaction was towards Tyler Perry. And what she said was that, so Tyler Perry paid Taraji the most money she's ever gotten, okay? And the most money Taraji P. Henson ever gotten for a role was $500,000. And in that role, Monique said that everyone is trying to give Tyler Perry the flowers for giving her $500,000, but that is a fraction of what she should have been paid for the role. Even though it was the most she was paid for that role,
right?
It still wasn't what she was worth, right? And I would say this: Taraji played a heck of a role. If you remember the role she played with the Spanish guy, when she had the boyfriend in the Tyler Perry movie, and the boyfriend was trying to molest the daughter and stuff like that, or her nieces, and it was a really good film. But yeah, she wasn't really paid her worth. And you see a woman who is continuously, after 50 years old, have to continuously play these roles to make ends meet, as she says, right? but she should be paid. Taraji does a heck of a job, but it just shows that individuals like our favorite show, Sisters, right? We've been watching Sisters and binging that whole thing.
Yep.
Eventually they'll come out and say how they feel they're underpaid too. There is this clip where it shows Taraji played a movie. I don't know the movie, but she was in a movie with Brad Pitt, and
the Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Oh, okay. So I still haven't seen that movie and can't identify the movie. But in that role, Taraji was paid a little less than $500,000. She asked for $500,000. They end up countering at $150,000. But Brad Pitt was paid $10 million for the role.
And her thing is like I'm not saying Brad should be paid less. I just think I should be paid equal to my counterparts. No, pay me equal. Like show up for me. And
the thing is, right? Let's just say she's not equally equivalent to Brad Pitt. She's at least half, right? And I say she's at least half because the role requires her to be a main character.
Right. So she was Benjamin Button's mother.
That's what I'm saying. So it's not like she's coming in to be an extra. She's coming in to take on the bulk of a role to exhibit a personality that's going to capture the world. She is responsible for the role selling. As we know, in white America for whatever reason enjoys their white actors the same way as black people enjoy our black actors. But for some reason, when we get in roles, we dominate them, right? And for that reason, when we start understanding, do you know who leads the entire world, especially the United States, in spending? Do you know what population leads in that, Lucy?
No.
Blacks. So even though blacks make the least amount of money in the United States, we spend the most money by far, right? So with that being said, when it comes to going out to see these movies, and we had these billion-dollar movies, it's blacks that pay for them for the majority. So I feel what Taraji is saying. I see a woman who is feeling like just worn out. If you could see it in her face, you could see it in her expression. It's not a lie. She feels undervalued. She feels stressed. She feels, she's around people.
Yeah.
And what's crazy? You know who shares her sentiments, right? You probably no, not Monique. Do you know who came out and said the same thing she said about Meryl Streep? Meryl Streep.
Who?
Your girl that play in that did How to Get Away with Murder. She was talking about
Viola Davis.
Exactly. Viola Davis was talking about how her catalog is perceived all of these people, and that she doesn't get a fraction of what they're paid. And she was like, she used to look up to all these actors, and she specifically,
she actually came out before Taraji said any of it.
That's what I'm saying. She talked about the Meryl Streep and how the roles that these women play is not even a fraction of what she's done, and she's not paid nowhere near like them. So it's a real thing.
I appreciate Taraji speaking out. I also appreciate her being vulnerable, and I also appreciate that she used the platform of Color Purple to get it done, because she's sitting alongside Fantasia and Danielle Brooks, and in the movie, first of all, Black people are going out in droves to see Color Purple, because one thing about us is we want to support each other. It's also one of the most prolific historic Black films of our time. And so to see a remake, we're going to go out. Like, we all got Fire Sticks and we can wait for it to come out, but we're going out and paying $25 a seat to go watch this 2.5 hour movie, buying $40 worth of popcorn to sit here and view it. And to think that Taraji played Suge Avery, the lead character in the film, second to probably Celie, it's crazy that she's sitting there in the chair saying, like, I didn't get enough. Like, she knows her worth. And she knows that if anyone should acknowledge my worth and my value,
should be Oprah, a black woman who's been through the struggle, who
Exactly.
actually got the money to pay her.
Yeah, exactly.
What is it for Oprah to give up $1 million when she gonna make it back?
What is it to make sure that Taraji takes home $1 million, $2 million, $3 million for something that's a blockbuster?
Give her what they give white people all the time. Give her a percentage of the movie. If you're gonna only pay her $150,000, give her a percentage.
And so that's what brings me back to, and why I wanted to share Cat Williams' sentiments on it, who said, you know, this is why people call you the gatekeepers. And we are in a season, in a time period right now where the victims are finally speaking out to say, listen, I'm tired of being silent on this. And then when people do come out and say something against people like Tyler Perry or Oprah,
yes,
or Diddy, or Bishop Jakes, some of these high profile people in the Black community, we are so quick to protect them because we don't want them to fall from their platform,
from their glory. So
we
look,
don't want them to fall from our glory. And listen, we're a little bit over time, so I'm going to give you a little bit more to wrap this up. So let's give it another 3 minutes to the conversation. But we can't keep protecting these idols when they're not doing exactly what they're doing. Tyler Perry, if you think about what Cat Williams said, who has Tyler Perry put on?
Yeah. Who has he put on? So look, I'm not going to be long-winded with this because we are at a time and we have to go. But I'll just say this: everybody tune in next week, please. We are waiting for Jeffrey Epstein for
Epstein.
That list. For that list to drop, guys. They have a list that dropped. The list has already dropped. What happened was that they said that the system crashed. So there are a lot of people that do not want this list to come out because their lives are going to be ruined. But one thing about white America, they're going to make sure that those black names get dropped. And I'm sorry to say it, but we're going to have to use the leftovers of what we can get, because they will not let their precious white people names get leaked. But they're going to allow all those black names to get leaked that was in cohesion, in cahoots with good old Jeffrey Epstein. So check this out next week. We will have those names. We're going to be talking about it. Those filthy, filthy individuals that are too horny for their own good. We will be talking about them. But when we're not on Clapback, guys, and I just appreciate you guys. It's our first show of the new year. We want to say thank you to everybody that take time just to come out and watch Jules' show. I'm just an extra. I'm somebody that support her, but this show has won an Emmy, and this is a show that we're going to do for the rest of the year. So we just want to come out first of all and just say thank you for all of our loyal guests that come in, fans that come in and actually watch this show. We're going to give you guys a fun-filled show for the rest of the year. And we're going to be so messy next week. So when I'm not on Clapback, you can find me at Rado007 on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And if you want to send me a Gmail, you can find me there too.
All right, y'all. Yeah, I agree with Rado. Listen, we couldn't do this show without you. It's so much better when you pull up and engage with us in the comments. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, dropping their opinions, shedding some light on some of the things that we're going to be talking about. Next week, we are going to be talking about Jeffrey Epstein, and we want to talk about everything that was going on with these people. A lot of grooming and sex trafficking and all the dirty things of the world. We want to talk about it and bring it to our show. But listen, when I'm not here on Clapback, you guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Treasure of JULES. Just restored that Facebook, you guys. So look out for me there coming soon. But until then, next week, listen, pull up. Let us know what you guys want to talk about next week. And thank you again for watching Clapback Culture. Take care and peace. Oh,
come back. We love you.
Clapback, we love y'all. And we out. Woo.